Hello and welcome to IrishRacing.com for another edition of Formscan. Delighted to be joined this week by Katie Midwinter. Katie was the 2023 Racing TV Tipstar winner, so great to get on for this show. Got a big weekend of action ahead. Katie, you were telling me you're going to Warwick tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully, if it isn't, frozen that is, but now I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been there before, so it's a good card there, isn't it? So looking forward to that, yeah.
Yeah, some great graded action over the weekend. But I suppose kind of before we tear into the racing, normally get a small bit of background about our guests before we kind of get going. So just tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into racing and what your involvement is now, I suppose.
Yeah, so I haven't been in racing that long, really. I'm not from a racing background, but I remember it growing up. But about a few years ago now, I got really into it and just became obsessed, I suppose, and found it as my passion. So I've been writing my own blog since then and doing the podcasts weekly. So I won the Racing TV Tipstar competition last year, and that's been like a really good base for me to gain more opportunities in the industry. And I also work for Pimlico Racing doing their social media as well. So I'm just trying to be as involved as I can in the industry.
Yeah, I'd say winning that Tipstar competition would have been a great buzz. There's always great competition for that as well. It's kind of not an easy thing to come out on top. Were you the first female winner of that, I wonder?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise because like the finalists were amazing. We went to Kempton Park and we previewed a race live from there on Racing TV. So it was an amazing experience and just incredible to get to win it. Yeah, and it's just a really good opportunity to kind of put my name out there a bit more.
Yeah, brilliant. So it should be a good kickstart to your kind of career working in racing, I suppose. But we're great to have you on. So you'll surely give us some good tips from your Racing TV experience here. I think we'll start off with Fairyhouse to kick it off. We'll just do the one race from Fairyhouse on Saturday, the Grade 3 Dan and Joan Moore Memorial Handicap Chase. Interesting contest, plenty in here with good chances. I suppose let's be clear about it. Clear favourite here, stepping down from Grade 1 company last time. Probably maybe people might have been a little bit disappointed on the day. He was favourite, but that form has been boosted by I Am Maximus running well at Christmas. Lots in there with good chances, I suppose. Is there anything here kind of catching your eye?
I was between Let's Be Clear About It and Fighting Fit. Fighting Fit is probably a bit of value at his current price now each way, I suppose. He was in really good form from Galway onwards last year, 2 wins and finished second in a listed handicap. I don't know how much improvement he has left, and he's £19 higher than when he won at Galway, but I think he'll cope with the ground, and I think he could be one for the places maybe or challenge for the win. Let's Be Clear About It. I do quite like him. He finished 4th at Cheltenham Ante last season, didn't he? And he's run well over fences, and he's done nicely enough. I think he needed a bit more at Grade 1 level, so he's just lacking a bit there, but now at this level, I think he should have a good chance, and he's another one that won't mind the softer ground as well, so I think he'll go really well.
Yeah, he definitely should have a good crack at it. He's already a Grade 2 in our course, and like you said, fighting fit. It's good to see Mark Walsh, I suppose, keeping with him, because JP has a few good chances in the field. I actually kind of like Lucid Dreams here at a decent enough price. I just thought that run behind Imagine in Punchestown 3 runs back second. He was second that day. He just looks a bit overpriced on that one. He won next time out. He was disappointing behind Gaelic Warrior last time, but he's a horse, I think, with plenty of talent, so I wouldn't be ruling him out here at all at an each way price. But look, there's loads of them in there you can make a case for. But yeah, let's be clear about it, Fighting Fit, and I'm going to go with Lucid Dreams in there. I think 11-1 looks a good price about him, but we'll kind of keep it moving fast because there's a lot of racing to get through this weekend. I think we'll go straight to Kempton now. Sorry, my screen is frozen, but we'll go to the 205, the Silviniaco Conti Chase in Kempton. Another great contest. Let me just get it up here now. It's 207. Sorry, these times. But look, I think there could be a real Ryanair contender kind of emerging from this one. Edward Stone, Banbridge coming out for his seasonal debut. Kind of a long time waiting for him. I'm kind of looking forward to just seeing the two of those at this intermediate trip. It's kind of a division that's looking maybe a little bit more open now. Edward Stone 5-2, Banbridge 9-4. Is there anything else in there maybe catches your eye, or would you be with those two?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Banbridge here, especially with the ground as well, going to be on the better side. I think it'll really suit him. I'm looking forward to seeing Edward Stone though now up in trip. I think it's been needed for him because he hasn't quite got the speed to match John Bon in the UK, and he definitely wouldn't be able to compete with El Fabiola, would he? So it seems a logical decision for him. He's got a lot of talent on his day, so you'd think he could be competitive here. But I just think with the ground as it is and Badenbridge coming over, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for him. Hasn't been seen since the manifesto at Aintree, but he's gone well fresh in the past, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I think he's going to be the one to beat, and although Edwardstone picked Dory, they can maybe serve it up to him. I think Banbridge is just going to have too much class on the day, so I'd certainly be with Banbridge.
Yeah, I suppose you can't disclose Pick Dory too quickly either. He was last year's winner, of course, but I'm probably siding with Edwardstone here. Like you said, I think he was just such a classy 2-miler, just kind of in such a strong division at the moment. Kind of makes sense to step him up and trip. Hasn't been over 2.5 miles over fences, but I'd imagine it'll probably suit him, especially at this age. He's 10 now. He's not getting any younger. But like you said, Banbridge was a brilliant winner in Aintree. Last time we saw him, seasonal debut, maybe just having the fitness edge over him, I might side with Edwardstone there. I just thought it was a good run behind John Ball and Tingle Creek, kind of improved on his last run. So I'll probably stick with him there. I think he's probably the classiest horse in the race, but another great contest to look forward to. We're going to go for one more from Kempton as well, the Lanzarote hurdle. That is the 242. Kind of a juicy enough one here for punters to get stuck into. I'll leave you kind of lead the way with this one. Was there anything that you were looking forward to here?
I'm looking at the top of the market because I can't see past him post far here. I think he could be well in. I really like that form behind Lucia last time out. I really like Lucia, so I think it's a really good level of form. And he's run 8 times. He's got 5 wins and 3 seconds. He's a really consistent horse. And even though this is a really competitive race, it's a big field, anything can happen. I think if he stays out of trouble, he's going to have a really good chance. But I will mention one at a bigger price as well, Quinto de Mar. He ran in the race last year for Ben Pauling, and he's on the same mark. He was pulled up last year, but he was still going towards the couple of last hurdles. And if he would have kept going, he would have finished about 6th. I think there were only 4 finishers in the end, so it was really testing. The better ground will suit him this time around, and he's got Beau Morgan claiming £5. So I'll be interested in Quinto de Mar each way, but I'm really, really keen on him post far's chances. I think he's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it's a nice price there for Quinto de Mar. You're saying you're actually visiting Ben Pauling's yard tomorrow as well, so you might get a bit more information on him when you call in there. But I actually saw him at a big price here as well, up for parole at each way prices. I thought he was third in this last year after £3 higher mark. Had a nice pipe opener back in November. Might set him up nicely for this. He was second that day. I think he should be stripping more fit for that. And after that nice run in this last year, I give him a little bit of a chance as well. But in post for Nicky Henderson, probably like you said, a well deserving favourite, and this one could be hard to beat. We'll drive on to Wetherby. So for the 225 in Wetherby, it's the Grade 2 novice chase again. A lot of high quality chases this weekend. Let me just get it up here. The Warwick, not Wetherby. You're going to Warwick, aren't you? That's what we were talking about earlier. Warwick, Broadway Boy and Grey Dawning topping the market here. The changing man for Joe Tizard, though, has to have a real chance as well. Who would you be siding with in this one?
I'm going for a long shot here because there's a horse in here that I've been following this season. I've been waiting for him to come out. I really liked him for the big competitive handicap at Haydock over hurdles, that Slate Lane one. But he was a non-runner that day, and it's Carbon King. Now, he's got loads to find on ratings, but I really like the form that he showed in Ireland last year, including when he beat Buddy One by 12 lengths at Limerick. He didn't show much in his first 2 starts for Evan Williams, but I think he had excuses, and I'm not sure he was really 100% put into the race. Now, back over fences, he went to Fost Last, and he was able to win there. The race kind of fell apart, and he's been put up £3. I think he's just much better than his mark of 124. I'm not sure if he's two stone better. That is pretty much what he's going to have to find. But I think he could be 10 to 15 pounds better than his rating. And I think it's interesting that he's going here instead of exploiting his handicap mark elsewhere. So I'm hoping that's a really good sign. And I'd like to see him run well at least. And I think if the front 3 in the market kind of take each other on too early, or if they make a mistake, like a couple of them have done already this season, it's not really a track that's going to forgive them, and maybe Carbon King could use his experience to good stead and maybe nick a place at least.
Yeah, it looks like a good shout there, 50 to 1. Can't go too wrong with that, I suppose. And like you said, few of these you can probably maybe pick holes in. Grey Dawning last time looked like maybe a little bit of an unlucky loser, mistake at the second last. I'd probably be slightly siding with Broadway Boy here myself. I just thought he was very good winning that handicap back in Cheltenham in December. Just looks like progressive kind of 6-year-old. But I wouldn't be too solid in any of them. So maybe taking the shout with the long shot, like you said, might be worth a small bet each way at least. We'll have a look at the 3 o'clock then as well. Handicap Chase, another juicy enough contest. Melina Girl was one I thought I put up as an eye catcher after that one in Cheltenham behind when she fell when Broadway Boy won that handicap. I just think she kind of looked like she was probably going to defy that 11-pound hike in the weight. Look, it was three fences out, so it's hard to say she would have won, but she's a strong finisher. I said I'd follow her wherever she went next, so I'd probably have to go with her here again, although she does look a little bit short at 9-2 in this type of race. Was there anything else in here that maybe you liked?
No, I'm a big fan of Melina Girl as well, and like you, like she was a real eye catcher. She was unlucky to fall, but she looked to be travelling well, even though she had an 11-pound rise. And I think she's the one to beat here. There's some nice days in here, but I don't think any of them are going to be as good as her. So I'd be definitely with her. Agree with you there.
Yeah, we'll stick with the Gavin Cromwell one. He's got a great strike rate going over to England with his honours as well. So yeah, I'd be surprised if she didn't want a very big race at least. But I could see her coming out on top of that one as well. We'll have a look at Sunday in Punchestown there. So got the declarations in this morning. 2 very good graded contests there. First one, I suppose, the Sky Bet Novice Chase Grade 3 race. This is one I'm actually really looking forward to, getting to see Imagine and Blood Destiny. Blood Destiny is opened up very, very short price favourite here after, he was brilliant on chasing debut, wasn't he, in Nice? He kind of took the fences like a duck to water. Could you see Imagine putting it up to him here, or maybe anything else in the field?
Imagine hasn't done anything wrong, as he's 2 from 2 over fences, but he has to give away the weight as well here to Blood Destiny. Blood Destiny is coming out of juvenile company, but I just think he has looked so good over fences so far, and it seems like he respects fences a lot more. Like, he was really keen at Cheltenham last year and he ruined his chances, didn't he? But he seems to be, as you said, like taken to it like a duck to water over fences. And he beat a nice horse in Hartwood as well, who split Grangeflow West and Corbett's Cross at Nace in November. So that form has worked out really nicely too. And I can't see him being beaten here, although like Silent Approach is, like he was good last time. But
it was good in Cork, yeah. She overturned Zenta at a very short price, didn't she, in a grade 2?
But I'd say it's tricky to go against the favourite here. Like Blood Destiny, if he's on a going day, he should win.
Yeah, he looks really good. I remember coming up to the Triumph last year. Wasn't he being touted as maybe he was actually the more favoured of the Mullins winners? I think he was working very well at home, and they kind of maybe even fancied him to beat Lassie Mount. But like you said, he kind of was his own worst enemy last time. But would you be any bit worried maybe about him? Like last time in Nace, he kind of got his own way, I suppose, like maybe stepping up in grade a small, but if they take him on, would you be any bit worried about that? That's kind of what some people maybe seem to be questioning him about, when he gets maybe challenged for a lead there, that he might explode again.
Yeah, like he's quite young, isn't he? And he hasn't got that much experience, so you'd have to be a little bit worried if he gets a bit on his toes and is a bit keen early on. But I just think the switch to fences, he has to respect them a lot more, and I think it's going to make all of the difference to him. I think we're going to see a much better chaser, and he's obviously got a lot of class, and they clearly have thought a lot of him as well. So I'd hope that he could like build on that and go on to bigger and better things. But as I said, like Imagine hasn't done anything wrong, so if he is a bit keen and if he doesn't get his own way, and maybe Imagine could put it up to him or one of the others. But I think if he's on a good day, he should have too much class here.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He's jumping. It was hard not to be really taken by his jumping in particular. Like when kind of seeing these juvenile hurdlers, I suppose in particular, coming up over fences, you wouldn't be quite sure, but you wouldn't see a much better chasing debut than that. So yeah, he should have a real crack at this. We'll have a look at the next race then, the 135, the Moscow Flyer Novice Hurdle. Obviously won last year by Imperi Pass. Not sure if we'll get maybe that higher quality horse coming out of it this year, but it's a strong field still with 5 declared. Wigley with 2 in it. I think Mystical Power probably looks like the first string at the moment. Open up just shades of odds against. James's Gate is an interesting one for Martin Brazel, and Gordon has Gigaro in there as well. Who would you be siding with here? I know Mystical Power. Look, she came with the big. He came. Sorry, with the big reputation being out of any power by Galileo. It doesn't really get much better than that, I suppose.
No, he's got an amazing pedigree, hasn't he? And I think people will be expecting plenty of him with that pedigree. Been off since the summer when he won his 2 races, including his debut over hurdles. It's interesting that he goes here instead of to the Lauders of Nace, and that maybe would suggest that he's more of a Supreme horse, and I think he's been shortened a little bit for the Supreme as well. But you never know with Willie Mullins, do you? So we'll have to wait and see. But on his pedigree, at least, he should be top class, and it would be good to see him go on and achieve good things. I wasn't quite sure about Gigaro here. I think he went easily enough on testing ground when he beat Butcher Hollow at Navan, but Butcher Hollow was then well beaten at Leopardstown, wasn't he? So I think he's going to have to show a bit more improvement. I like Facile Mode, but I think he probably has a bit to find here if Mystical Power is as good as we think. And James's Gate as well, you mentioned. I think he'll shape into a really nice horse, and they could land a nice race with him, but I'm just not sure if he's going to have the speed to match Mystical Power here. So it's probably not one that I'd be having too strong a fancy in, but I wouldn't really want to be going against Mystical Power, and I hope that we can see a really nice performance from him, and then maybe he'll be going to Cheltenham as one of the leading fancies for one of the novice hurdle races.
Yeah, you'd hope so anyway. I suppose over Christmas maybe Willie doesn't have at the moment anyway. I'm sure he'll turn it around come March, but maybe his Supreme team maybe isn't as strong as it normally would be. So maybe he's hoping Mystical Power can step up and step into that 2 mile division. I know a couple of them just kind of disappointed over Christmas in maiden hurdles and grade 1 races. So hopefully he will. Lambron, another one kind of to give a quick mention to, he won well at Thurles, but I suppose didn't beat anything that be jumping off the page there. So he's kind of one with maybe potential more so than what we've seen so far. I kind of agree with you with Gigaro. I wouldn't be too keen on him. He was beaten by a horse, Flamborough, in Cork the first time out. Flamborough's not a bad horse, but he's kind of rated about mid 120s. I know he probably improved next time to beat Butcher's Hollow, but like you said, Butcher's Hollow was beaten well again next time. So maybe small bits of question marks about that form. But I'd probably say James's Gate is probably the side of Mystical Power. He looks very overpriced, 16-1. First time tongue shop, so I thought he was actually quite eye-catching behind King of Kingsfield last time. Travelled fairly well, but he was off the track for so long, you kind of have to forgive him for blowing up a small bit. So I'd nearly back him to finish behind Mystical Power, maybe without the favourite or something like that. I think he's a horse with plenty of ability. We kind of saw it in his bumper days. Changed to Martin Brazel, and Martin Brazel knows how to handle a good horse as well. So I'm looking forward to see how he runs. But yeah, we kind of a quick summary of all the best races over the weekend. I suppose kind of before we move on to our little anti-post chat, you can maybe give us your next bet in the long shot for the weekend.
So my nap would have to be Melina Girl at Warwick. I just think she's better than the others, and I don't see any of them troubling her. So she'd have to be my best bet. Next best would be Imposed Fire at Kempton. As I mentioned, I think if he gets a clear run around, I think he's going to be really tough to beat. So I'd have a strong fancy with him. And then long shot, well, I mentioned Carbon King in the grade 2 at Warwick. He is those to find on ratings, as I said, so he really is a long shot. But I'll mention one other Warwick as well in the Veterans Chase final, and that's Lord de Menil. He goes really well in soft ground, and he'll be suited by the step back up to 3 miles. I was impressed with him last time over 2.5. I think that's a bit short for him, but he rallied really well to finish second to Capage. So I'd expect him to go well at a nice each way price. I think he's around 16-1, 14-1 now. So Lord de Menil.
Some nice each way selections in there. So yeah, look like decent bets. I was actually with you with the nap. I went with Melina Girl as well. My next best will be Edward Stone, and my long shot will be Up for Parole in the Lanzarote hurdle. I think he is a small shout. He's around 16-1, so maybe a small bit of an each way bet. So hopefully we'll have a bit of luck with those. But kind of we're starting kind of a new segment. We started it last week with Paddy Flood. We're going to talk anti-post for the second half of the show. We talked Gold Cup last week. Few more entries came out for Cheltenham this week, so we said we'd have a chat about the Mayor's Hurdle, which looks, as always, I suppose, a very interesting division. It's kind of one that can be dominated by a high-class mare in the past, like we've seen Quevega win it so many times, Honeysuckle, Vroom Vroom Mag, Beanie de Dieu, like some really high-class mares have won this in the past, and I suppose the high hope for this year coming through from the juvenile ranks, Lassie Mout. She's an early short favourite there, about 5-2 at the moment. Look, she looks like she could have any amount of ability. But it's a really hot division at the same time. It's kind of hard to say, especially because we haven't seen her this year, I suppose. But I suppose kind of to kick off, Lottie Mout and Garla Marceau, they're the two juveniles coming through. We haven't actually seen them so far this year. How highly did you rate them last year? And like, do you think the transition from juvenile company up to open class will be as seamless as maybe the market suggests it might be?
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? And because we haven't seen them yet this season, like it makes sense they're getting a bit of a quiet time this season because they are coming out of juvenile company, and it's not going to be that easy. They're against some really experienced mares in here. I find it a fascinating market though, and Lottie Mouth, I suppose she is short enough considering that we're yet to see her. But I really rated her highly last year. I thought she was top class, and I'd love to see her like really step out of that juvenile company and go on to bigger and better things. I mean, we've seen Corvega, Appleshade won this race as 5-year-olds, didn't they? So I think she definitely could do it. But again, like the competition is going to be hot, isn't it, behind her? So it's just whether or not she's going to be able to make that transition swiftly. But I think the class that she has shown, she's quite straightforward. She just has so much speed as well. And she has that experience around Cheltenham now, doesn't she? So I'd love to see her just be able to put in a really nice performance. And if she is as good as we think she will be, then she's going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah, she's kind of a mare. She's very hard to fault. She looks straightforward. Like you said, she was only beaten once last year, maybe a bit unlucky that day as well. Like you said, kind of that transition from juvenile, like I know Willie was saying last year he was finding it hard with 4-band, so maybe he's just got that in the back of his mind. He's going to take it easy on these mares and just get them to Cheltenham in peak form. Like he used to do with Corvega all those years ago, I suppose. But I suppose looking outside of the Mullins pair, like the English challenge is very strong as well. Like you were mentioning. You love Lucia, love Envoy, of course, was brilliant second in this last year. Marie's Rock, you wear it well. They all have to have some kind of a chance as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I really like Lucia at the prices now. I think she's around 14-1. People were saying she was a bit disappointing last year, but she finished 4th at Cheltenham and then 3rd in a Grade 1 at Aintree. And I don't think she was quite right in the spring either. So it's still good form. Like she's run to a high level, even though she wasn't 100%. She's come out this season, been second in the listed race to You Wear It Well, maybe needed the run there as well. And then she's running 2 competitive handicaps, and she's beaten Postoir, who I think is well ahead of his mark. And to me, it's good form. And she's a Grade 1 level horse, definitely against the mares, at least. So I think she's a really nice each way bet at the moment against Lottie Mouth, and I'd say she's shortened significantly if she was definitely going for this. I think maybe she has the option of the county hurdle and even the champion hurdle, but I can't see her lining up there. But maybe a handicap would be an option for her as well. But I hope she runs here because I think she is up to this level when she's at her best.
Yeah, and Love Envoy as well. I'd have to give her a chance in this. I mean, if she showed up in the form she was in last year, like she was only just beaten by Honeysuckle, and there's no disgrace in that at all. She's kind of a real consistent mare. Yeah, I think like 10-1. She's rated higher than Lottie Mouth. They've been meeting here off level weights. I'd have to give her a big shout in this. What would you say about her chances?
Yeah, she's a big price there, definitely, at least from an each way angle as well. She was definitely best of the rest last year, wasn't she, behind Honeysuckle? It was an amazing battle between them two. I remember being there, and that roar when Honeysuckle went past her in the final furlong, it was just, incomparable. It was amazing. But no, I definitely would give her a good chance. She was disappointing last time, but I think you can forgive it. The ground was really testing that day as well, behind Not So Sleepy. So she definitely enters the frame for me. I'd have her on the short list for sure.
So we'll try and wrap it up. So Mayor's Hurdle, to summarise, maybe give us your best bet and maybe one who's a bit more value. Yeah, you might stick with Lottie Mouth, I think, will you?
I suppose Lottie Mouth would be the best bet, but I think at the prices, Lucia is a really good bet at around 14-1. So I'd be really keen to be on her anti-post. Hopefully she does turn up here. I'd say it's probably the first choice for her. I think she's much better than her current mark as well. So yeah, it'd be Lucia for me.
Yeah, she looks a good price as well, and like Nicky Henderson never hit her. He's his love for her, I suppose, last year. He thought she was a very high class mare, so be surprised if she didn't develop into that this year. I'd probably go with Love Envoy at a bigger price, but I think Glossy Mouth is definitely the one to beat here. She just looks like she could be something special, so hopefully she will develop into that this year. But we'll wrap it up anyway, Katie. Look, thanks very much for your contributions. Hopefully we found a few winners, and enjoy your day at Warwick tomorrow. Hopefully you get to see some of the horses that we put up coming home in front. But look, thanks very much, and everyone who watched the show, hope you enjoyed. If you're going to have a bet, make sure to gamble responsibly, and if you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.